Come here, son, nephew, young man. Let me holler at you. I've been paying some attention to this situation dealing with Johnathan Majors, the actor. I haven't fully invested into learning every detail because I've seen it over and over again, to the point I darn near have developed a system for myself to attempt to avoid such situations. And the reality is, you darn near can't fully avoid these types of situations. I don't really like talking about this stuff, but if my mission is to help young men to avoid pitfalls in life and to have the most positive outcomes and the most positive outputs by way of positive and productive inputs, then I do need to talk about it. And I'm going to tell you just like I told my son, but in more coded language, to not get my video flagged or taken down or whatever. But this whole cancel culture thing is real. And I'm going to say it's dangerous for all men, more so dangerous for black men. But if they can go back and get billionaires with a statement about some junk that happened or didn't happen, if you're an average man without those resources, then your battle would be the hill that you would have to climb to fight that battle. Going uphill would be significantly more steep. Now, I remember Cuba Gooding Jr. Michael Irvin went through something like this recently. But there were videos and some type of digital evidence to prove that he didn't do anything wrong. And I'm going to encourage you today, just like there are good police, and I graduated with a lot of sheriff's deputies, with a lot of police. I don't have any problem with regular police officers who are just doing their job and keeping the peace. But guys who was bullied in school and now they just want to be a police officer to go get back at society, or race soldiers disguised as police who are carrying out racist agendas and shooting unarmed black men and just abusing people in general, I ain't with that. But just like people have learned to pull out those cameras, young men especially, but all men, look, here in the state of Louisiana in particular, what you say matters, because the definition of a contract here is offer and acceptance, right? So if you're going to have any type of social situation going on in your life, you have proof of some form of offer and acceptance, preferably in writing, basically something saying that, hey, this situation was not something forced on anybody or any weird stuff like that. Every so often, take some screenshots, because the folks will screenshot you and put your business out there and label you some type of way. So you screenshot what you need, and you keep your own database of you having interactions with people. Positive conversation, whatever the case may be. So if somebody ever accuses you of, sorry, my mount was leaning. I was wondering why you're looking at my nose. Anyway, while the camera's pointing at my nose and not my face. Man, what you doing? All right, anyway, the people, I don't know what's going on with driver's ed these days. You gotta be, we used to learn defensive driving. I don't know what you call it now. People drive like it's Destruction Derby or Mad Max in the Thunderdome. Anyway, the more documentation that you can just tuck away somewhere on some files on your computer or something, just saying, hey, here's some summaries of some interactions with this person. Do it. If you ever notice Keanu Reeves, when he takes a picture and he's hugging certain people, he'll have his other hand open. That's another technique you can use to protect yourself. Keep your distance. I had a guy who I used to mentor. I'm not gonna get too specific about him because I want his success to stay as covert as possible. And I have my reasons for that. But somebody tried to pull the okie doke on him. He thought he was just being nice, and some co-workers, quote unquote, well, actually some subordinates invited him to go out and eat, and hey man, work is work, home is home. You keep that work stuff that's out of the office, you keep that stuff to a minimum. You be very, very careful how you interact with some of your coworkers, because you got people that have all types of ulterior motives out there. If a conversation starts getting fishy, don't hesitate to record it. If you have to meet with certain demographics, keep the door to your office open, especially if it's a subordinate or somebody who's much younger than you and it could look inappropriate. The Bible says, abstain from all appearances of evil, right? So if it could even look bad, consider avoiding it. And for the record, I've had some accusations levied against me. The first time I was green, I didn't know what the hell was going on. And I had to learn that, okay, that was orchestrated. The very last time I had an accusation, I filed a lawsuit and I won. Because when the conversation started getting fishy, I started recording certain things with certain people. And I don't do that with everybody, but I guess anybody listening, maybe you might believe it, maybe you don't, but I got to protect myself, and you better protect yourself. Just like a boxing match, men. I said that in another video about these reckless people out here. Protect yourself at all times. You think of how you can have any type of evidence. This is what they taught me in school when I learned to be a school administrator. You treat every situation like you might go to court, and like what you're saying and doing might be evidence. It just is what it is. That's where we are in 2023. And sometimes you got to vet carefully. And I'm going to leave you with one more thing. Another person who I'm close to just went through a situation where somebody tried to air him out online. So I went and looked up this person's background, because you can vet people now, kind of, using Facebook and Instagram. Hey, go look and see what people are posting. If you're going to be close to somebody, do you really need to be close with somebody who's basically saying, I hate men all day long? Do you really need to be entangled with that person if you're a man? Look, if they have that mantra, if you're something that they hate, then don't be their next target. If you're dealing with somebody who's constantly unhappy and constantly everybody's their enemy and they're always into it with somebody, well, you're going to be their next enemy. You need to take your time and see who it is you're letting around you. Because as a man, you can produce another man, you can produce work, you can leave a legacy. Your essence as what God created you is a powerful thing. And some people don't like that. That bothers some people. You ain't make it that way. God made it that way, but that's just how some folks feel. So you need to respond accordingly. Protect yourself at all times. Be able to prove that you're innocent of wrongdoing as much as possible, because unfortunately, you got some people out there. When my parents growing up, my parents taught me, hey, get your degree, go to school, you can be anything you want, and that's it. it ain't that simple no more. It really wasn't that simple in my early teens and 20s, but my father had died, and he wasn't there to guide me through a lot of these situations. And we've seen society change now, where you have some people, they live to destroy people. And the more successful you get, the more you'll see these things happen. Now, I have noticed this after that last situation, because people talk too. Don't you? Look, the more you're trying to do that's positive, don't think people ain't watching you. And people understand who you are and where you're trying to go. But I noticed after this last time, when I had to actually take somebody to court and say, hey, stop playing with my name, it wasn't that I won a lot of money, but I made it clear, you can't play that type of game with me. Now, do I have some people who may shy away from wanting to be around me and stuff like that? I don't know, maybe, possibly. I don't need that many people around me no way, because I've learned that's not always a good thing. You can't watch all them people around you. And most people aren't trying to be on a path to growing, to trying to accomplish great things. Most people just want to do regular things, and that's okay. But I hope that made sense. But I noticed after that last situation, when they tried to cut all these corners and tried to ruin my reputation and ruin my careers, I'm not going to say which field, because when you win those types of things, you're not supposed to speak on them. So I'm speaking in general. But I've been there, and I've won in these situations. But I was prepared from the outset. I'm also say this: do as much as you can to write your own narrative. So if the day ever comes when somebody tries to write one for you, the more people and the more situations that you can vouch and prove that you're not that type of person, the more it could help. But at the end of the day, man, you just got to think about how this could look later. I know they say you're innocent until proven guilty, but there's this thing called the court of public opinion, and this is another reason you need to be trying to learn to create your own opportunities. Now look at Donald Trump and look at Johnathan Majors, and take this into consideration before I get off of here. Trump has so many resources. Hey, you can make all the accusations you want. You might be able to keep him out of presidency, but then again, because he has such a big following, by trying to bury him, you might make him the new Teflon Don. Because you know America has a fixation on gangsters. So if you make him look like American gangster and he's untouchable, well, but see, you know, Johnathan Majors is an actor, but he has to get his opportunities from people. Trump has real estate, whatever type of business ventures, because I haven't kept up with it. I'm more familiar with the Trump hotels than anything else, but he has his own. When you got to get opportunities from people, they can take the opportunities away. And when you don't do what they want you to do, they will take those opportunities away. Let that marinate. You probably need to replay that part of the video over and over again, but have your ways to create opportunities for yourself. Leave any comments if you have any more questions on the subject matter. I'm gonna start leaving my email again in the comment section. Also, you can purchase merchandise, share the video to support the channel and to help people who might not know these things. Hit the like button. It doesn't cost you anything. You're welcome to subscribe. And as always, never lose the will to win, never lose the will to survive, especially if you get in one of these situations. You're gonna need it.